another episode of Good News Glynn. We're here with Mr. Bill Fallon. We're thrilled to have you. And we want to get started and talk about July. July is fun in the Golden Isles, lots of events. Let's start with July 4th. That was a very successful holiday. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was a great day. We had last Thursday, we had a lot that was happening. The fireworks were fantastic. Again, just it seems like they get better every year. In fact, funny story is the vendor that we used this year, I think it's the same one that we've used for the last several years. He actually had extra fireworks from the night before somewhere in South Carolina. So he brought them with him and he shot those off at no charge to Glynn County. So it felt like a half an hour grand finale, really. It just was very, the fireworks were fantastic.
Yes, they were awesome. They were so amazing. Yes, congratulations on a successful 4th.
Yeah, beaches were crowded pretty much all weekend. We had, as we talked about a couple times over the summer so far, on your show, we had every lifeguard was out there, so we had 22 lifeguards out there on the beach on the 4th. Plenty on the 5th and 6th as well. They were busy days. Also, we had our police out there. In fact, we had the police out there on their bikes plus their ATVs. So they have the new electronic bikes that I'll talk about here in a minute as well. But overall, just great presence by Glynn County. But it's not just that. It's not just the police and lifeguards. It's the public works people that do all the preparation. Everybody that works for Parks and Rec that really get not only the beaches but also the casino area where the fireworks were set up, take down. We have a great partnership with Keep Golden Isles Beautiful and that group, and they were out there the next morning helping us clean up. So just again, just a full community effort, but certainly a lot of behind the scene work that goes in from all of our people here at Glynn County.
Yes, that's a good point. A lot of public works and your staff, but in addition, counting on Keep Golden Isles Beautiful and lots of volunteers. Yeah. So we want to thank those volunteers too for really coming out and caring about the community. So that's awesome.
Yeah, one other thing on that, we try and do better every year when it comes to traffic. And so I think we've learned a couple of things over the years. There's just so many people that come to St. Simon's for the fireworks, getting off the island, or at least getting back to their homes for the people that do live on St. Simon's. A lot of times they have to wait it out for about an hour. But one of the things that we found a couple of choke points around St. Simon's. So one of them is at the end of Kingsway. So if you're coming off the island and you're going Kingsway just before you get to the gateway, before you get to the Causeway, that stop sign, we now have officers there that are blocking traffic there's not a lot of cars coming on the island at that time. So we stop traffic and we just keep people going through that stop sign, which helped with traffic this year. And then the other thing also is that we found a couple of times where we had officers helping direct traffic at the roundabouts. That slowed traffic down. So we took the officers off the roundabouts, let the roundabouts work like they're supposed to, and that moved traffic even better. So every year I think we make a little bit of a better strides toward increasing or reducing the amount of traffic and trying to get people home safely and quickly.
Yes, no, y'all did a good job. And let's jump to, because I think it's along these lines, the electric bikes and motorcycles. You had the police update. You had lots of, all the police were out in full force. You said ATVs and the motorcycles and electric bikes. So yeah, how were they instrumental in helping?
Well, the bikes were out there. So the bicycles, so the electric bikes. So they were out there all day. They were out there all weekend, but they were helping with the golf cart parade earlier in the day too. They kind of led that, which was pretty cool. Nice. But then in the budget for this year, Scott Ebner, what he requested this year was a couple of motorcycles. So something I think Glynn County probably had, back 20, 30 years ago. But motorcycles will actually help with traffic. It will help with getting around different places when we have accidents, particularly on the Causeway, particularly on St. Simon's. Some of those narrow roads, just allowing police to respond to different things a little bit better, a little bit quicker. So we're looking forward to that. So that's two motorcycles, 2 Harleys are in the budget for this coming year, fiscal year 25. And so we got to get some officers certified because we have plenty of officers that ride motorcycles, but these are a little bit bigger, heavier, and there's requirements obviously to ride them as in a police capacity. So they have to get certified in those. So we're going to get some training and get some officers out there motorcycles here pretty soon, hopefully.
That's exciting. Yeah, and as you said, each year you kind of make tweaks and improvements. The flow of traffic and safety and all of that is just it's 5-star, right? So you're really doing a great job. Yeah.
Yeah, so the police department too. Just a quick update. We're continuing to hire. We've had about 125 or over 125 applications so far this year. We've hired 8 so far, so 5 that are actually certified and 3 that are from that weren't certified police officers. We have 23 that are in the hopper right now, so about half of those are certified. So we're going to get them through training and get them out in the streets here pretty soon. But the one point I want to make, and I think Chief Ebner might have made this point earlier, when you're hiring police officers, you really have to go through and do a thorough background and hire the right people. That's why it might seem like we have a lot of applications at 125, but when you start weeding through those and going through, we want to make sure that we're hiring the best and the brightest. And so that's why those numbers don't always equate to a lot of hiring. In fact, when I was with the Marshal Service, I got asked to go up and help with recruiting back. This is 15 years ago or so. But we actually had to put out a nationwide announcement to hire 500 people. And we actually had 40,000 applications.
Wow.
And we didn't even get 500 people from those 40,000 applications.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So it tells you how difficult it is. But again, you want to hire the right people that are going to make it a career and do well and be professional and all that when they're on the force.
Yeah. No, yeah, thank you for clarifying, because you would think, oh wow, you could just hire them all, but there is a process of going through each one, and but at least you do have plenty of applicants.
Yeah.
And
we're starting to see those certified officers from around the state, not only from around Georgia, but outside other states as well. So that's really that tells you that the police department really is gaining that professional reputation, and we're getting people that really want to come here and join our ranks and help us out with public safety here in Glynn County.
Yes, that's good to know. So let's jump back to July 4th. We talked about the 4th kind of kicked it off, and then there are lots of celebrations. It's just a big month for celebrating here, including Causeway event. Can you talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, the Torras Causeway on Saturday, July 13th, will be 100 years old. And so there's a big community-wide celebration that's going to happen. So on Saturday, July 13th, there's a parade in downtown Brunswick. I believe it begins at 9:30 from the marina. That's actually right behind me over here, the marina back here. It goes over to Old City Hall. And then I think from Old City Hall, it then proceeds over the Causeway, over to Gascoigne Park, over on St. Simon's. And that's essentially the same route that the group took 100 years ago. And so when they opened up the Causeway, they had a celebration back then. And everything that we've done to kind of look at the research, do our research and look at all of the articles and things that we knew, the history of what happened that day 100 years ago, we're going to try and do the same thing here. So there's going to be a trolley, a couple of trolleys and a motorcade like parade across the Causeway later on in the morning. On July 13th, and then there's going to be a celebration. I think it begins about 11 a.m., maybe 11:15 or so at Gascoigne Park. So it's open to the public. So we hope a lot of people come out and join us.
It's exciting. A recreate what happened 100 years ago. That's very exciting. Yes.
It should be fun. It's going to be a little hot, but it's okay.
Yeah. Do you have water stations along the way?
Yeah, there's quite a bit. So there was a whole committee. So everybody that's the city's involved, the Torras Foundation, obviously the chamber. We have the state. So I think the governor's going to be there. We hopefully will have our senators and our Congressman Carter is going to be there as well. So it's going to be a pretty big event, and so it's going to be all part of that parade, but eventually culminating in the celebration that we're going to have at Gascoigne Park. Again, beginning about 11:15 on Saturday, July 13th.
Excellent. Yes, we look forward to that. Okay, let's jump to Fletsey property that was just obtained for the new fire station.
Yeah, so we again just that partnership that we have with the Federal Law Enforcement Training Centers. I think it's our biggest employer here. It's where I used to work, but they're great to work with in the community. They really support Glynn County. They bring a lot to Glynn County, obviously. But back in I'd say late November, December of 2022. So this is just after the election, just after SPLOST was passed. One of the items on the SPLOST referendum was a new fire station over in the mall area. And so in that area, it's about a third of our calls. So Glynn County Fire and EMS, about a third of all calls actually are in that area. And right now, we actually respond to that area from Ballard, which is Station 1. And unfortunately, from that location, it's hard to meet our standards. So you have certain standards for response times. And because that station is a little ways out of the way, because there's train tracks right there and traffic, we have a hard time meeting some of the standards to respond to areas around that mall. And so we started looking at different properties that might have been available. And I looked right at FLETC, and I know I'm familiar with FLETC, obviously, but there's a lot of land out there. And it's right about in the area that we need to put a station. And so I approached FLETC, and they were great about it. They right off the bat, we had the people that were over there that I worked with said, yes, absolutely, this is a great idea. Let's see what we can do to donate you enough land to build a fire station. And so after everything was said and done, it's a long process. As you can see, it took a year and a half. But we did get the federal government and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Centers donated 3.94 acres to us. It's right on the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and Highway 17. And so that's going to be the location for our SPLOST 22 fire station. So we're going to be hopefully getting into the design phase here pretty soon. But we worked through the deed. FLETC deeded the property over to us, and that puts us in a great location because not only is it right there on 17 Chapel Crossing Road, allows us to get over to the spur, and then obviously the mall is right there as well. So just a great location, and the land was free, and so now we have a new fire station coming on board, hopefully in a year or two, where we can make an impact to all those people that live in that area.
Great. Yes. Great strategic planning, putting something in a place where there's really a need and getting it done quickly, relatively quickly, and working with FLETC. So that's great to hear. Let's move on to the QER coming up in August. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So speaking of strategic planning, that's going to be our subject in August. So we're actually we have 3 county goals that we are kind of the focus of our staff. So these are the Board of Commissioners goals for the county. And so again, our strategic plan runs from 2023 up until the end of 2026. So we have a lot of work to do in the next couple of years. But within those 3 goals, there's a bunch of objectives, a bunch of initiatives. You can find it on our county homepage. You can go and look there. But also on that homepage, we have we have a part of the website shows the work that's actually being done. And so the quarterly execution reviews, again, to just kind of touch base on what those are. We have people come in and it's going to be our department heads, plus they bring their staff. They get it to come in and talk about all the initiatives, all the great work that they're doing. We can see how they're progressing and making sure that they're able to accomplish all those initiatives within each objective, and then eventually meet all 3 goals by the end of 2026. So there's just a lot of work going on, but these QERs allow us to come back, kind of regroup, see where we are. It provides the commissioners an opportunity to weigh in, to ask questions. It provides us an opportunity to address any issues that might be out there as far as any risks that they're having in getting things accomplished. So whether it be staff or money or whatever else, we can then talk about that. So it's really that progression of the strategic plan. Because really a lot of times too many, even private entities do this, but government agencies particularly, they write a strategic plan, it sits on the shelf, you don't execute to it. And so for us, it's all about that execution. And that's my job, along with all our other staff, is to make sure that we're able to execute all the things that the commissioners and the public want to see us get done here in Glynn County. So we're looking forward to that. So we're actually going to do 3 days. The first day is going to be centered around kind of infrastructure. And it's going to be the schedule. We'll probably have to update the schedule. But one day is going to be goal 1, one day is going to be goal 2, and one day is going to be goal 3. And so we're going to be able to talk through that. And then the other thing is it allows the department heads to bring some of their staff, allows them the opportunity to brief on all the work that they're doing. So it gives them some face time with me, with the commissioners, and with the public. So looking forward to it. It's totally transparent. Everything we're doing is out there. You can either come and watch it, or you can. We're going to record it, so it'll be available to watch after we're done.
Yes, and if you could clarify too, I know you last time you'd had one on the island and one in Brunswick, so that you have two different locations. Talk about that.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. So what we did the last time. So what we do twice a year. So we do the quarterly execution reviews every quarter. And so last one was on the SPLOST projects and other capital projects. This time is going to be on the execution of our strategic plan. In 3 months from now, in November, we're going to go back to the SPLOST projects and capital projects, and then you follow that rotation. But what we did was, it's during the day. These do take a couple hours, and so what we did was we had a kind of an open public session to just go through the highlights of the capital projects and the SPLOST projects. One at the library over here in Brunswick, and then one over at St. Simon. So we're going to do that again. But it's going to be after the next QER. And so we just go out there, provide just our staff and commissioners that come, just an opportunity for the public to come in and see everything we're doing, ask questions, talk about anything really that they want to talk about. So we do that a couple of times a year on top of the quarterly execution review. So good question. Thank you for that.
Right. Yeah. In addition to, so these are once a quarter, and then twice a year you have them both public, both places. Yeah.
Right.
Great. Well, anything else you'd like to add before we move on? We're going to speak today with a couple of different members of the staff from Animal Services, and also with the Commissioner, Cap Fendig. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. But is there anything else you want to touch on before we move on?
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Lori Austin, who is over Animal Services, does a great job out there. She's been out there about as long as I've been on the position here. I think she started out there about the same time. She was with the police department before. She'll tell you.
Okay.
She's been out there at Animal Services for the last 2+ years, and I think has really turned things around out there. She does well with the staff out there. We're still challenged a little bit when it comes to the staff that we need. So we're still looking for a vet. We don't have a vet on staff right now. We have to use part-time vets, but that's okay. We'll work through it, and she's finding ways to make things happen out there. So it'll be good for you to get kind of caught up on everything that's going on out there at that facility. And then you have Commissioner Fendig coming on. So Commissioner Fendig is in the home stretch. He's got about 6 months left, and he has a lot. You'll hear from him. There's a lot of projects that we've been able to accomplish in the last couple of years, but he still has a lot that we want to try and get done here, and get some of those things across the goal line before he rotates off as a commissioner for St. Simon's Island. So, yeah, just I think the format works good for us. It allows us to bring in new people to come in every month and talk about all the stuff that they're doing and all the work that's being done across Glynn County.
Yes, exactly. I think so too. Yeah, these are things you hear about, but you're really getting a behind the scenes look of, or to hear exactly what they do, and what their department is involved with, and the struggles and the positive work they're doing, but also some of the issues that they still have to contend with. So, but it's great to be transparent, and we appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on again. Have a great July, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. Yes, you too. Okay, bye. Welcome back to Golden Isles TV. This is Good News Glynn, and we are thrilled to have Commissioner Cap Fendig today on the show. So welcome.
Thank you, Avery. I'm so glad to be here. And first thing I want to say is thank you to you and all of my island people that elected me and gave me the opportunity to serve them the last 3.5 years. I still have 6 months to go. I came on like a railroad train, and I'm going out like a railroad train, county staff will tell you. But thank you to everyone that allowed me to be their commissioner the last 4 years.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for saying that. We're thrilled to provide that platform for you to be able to thank everybody and tell us about obviously what you've done. And I know you've got, I was just talking to Mr. Fallon, I know you got 6 months of projects you're really excited about and things you're planning and wanting to do before you leave the commission. So, so let's jump right in. So for people who don't know, you are commissioner, you represent District 2, really the island. So tell us about that and how it's been for you in this position.
Sure. Well, this is my third term that I've served as commissioner. I served twice back from the years 2000 to 2008. And then, later on here in life, I decided that I served as at-large. And then this time I really wanted to serve St. Simons. Of course, I grew up here. My families are been here since the 1800s. And I have a lot of investment and love for the island. So I wanted to serve the island constituents focused specifically. So that's what I got elected to do. And they got more than they bargained out of me, I think.
Yes, let's talk about that. So, okay, first let's talk about some of the things coming up, and then we'll kind of focus on specifically what projects you've accomplished and what things are left to accomplish. But right now we just had July 4th, so we're in the month of July, a very busy time for the island, of course. Tell us about the celebration for the Causeway, the 100th year, a little bit about that, and also the 4th.
Yeah, that's coming up July 13th. It's an exciting event. Quite a VIP entourage is going to be gathering and celebrating this. The interesting thing is that my grandmother and my aunt, Selma Shalander, grandmother was Emwin Fendig, were a part of the ribbon cutting group, and I still have a lot of pictures in my possession that have been handed down from that event. But it's going to be a great celebration. We're going to start in downtown Brunswick and then right across the Causeway to Gascoigne Bluff and do a whole day of festivities over there, and just a great celebration time for our community and quite an event. As you know, before the Causeway appeared, it was ferry service from Brunswick to St. Simons and Jekyll. And that's how my family got on and off the island, was by ferry boat previous to the opening of the Causeway. So it's a big event, and it shaped the future of St. Simons forever to be able to drive around.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Although the ferry sounds kind of nice too, that might not have been all bad.
Yeah, well, since I'm still in boating and doing that for a living, I provide those services all the time anyway, just on a small non-public scale. So yes, it's great.
Yes, great. Okay, well, let's see. Yes, let's talk about projects. So highlight some of the things you've done that you're proud of, that, I can think of one. I know you were involved with the Glen Haven Park project.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about those things and then some upcoming things.
Sure. Well, parks and recreation are important to kids and families. And we have a lot of great parks on the south end of the island, and we have some parks on the north end of the island, but we didn't really have many parks mid-island where most of the population is living. So I came in, I had been preparing to run for office and kind of look at what the island needed, and saw that, parks, I grew up working with the recreation department. So parks are a big thing. So of course, I knew that there was land there that was to be developed. That property could have had 16 homes on it. And I had to aggressively go after my fellow commissioners, in the private discussions initially, to convince them that this was an important thing to have a mid-island park there. There are 575 homes in Glen Haven. They're connected to a bridge to Dunbar Creek homes. And we just finished a sidewalk connecting St. Clair to Dunbar Creek, and then to Glen Haven to the park, or to go over to eat there in the restaurants and shops down there at the red light at Atlantic. So, we all pitched together. We had a lot of public help. A lot of organizations helped us out, and private donations, and we got it done. And it was just like I had hoped it would be. And I go by there all the time, and I see families enjoying it. It's got plenty of open free room and bike riding and a walking path around it, and it was just a great park project. So that one was A+. And of course, we have a lot of parks on the island, and been working on those, getting the upgrades. We have Harrington Park there is very important on South Harrington, and then at Demery Park, when I was there last time serving, we got improvements in Demery Park. We tore down a fire station there, and we got skate park and a baseball field all built back there. And sounds minor, but when I became the commissioner this time, I realized we didn't even have bathrooms out there, not even porta potties. So you could have 200 kids out there playing soccer or baseball. So we got a brand new pavilion that's just opened up so families can have nice, beautiful bathrooms, but also covered area to enjoy cooking out and after the game, treats and so forth like that. So looking good there. And we have some more things coming up for Demery Park, and we're trying to implement a walking trail around that park. So looking forward to that. So and then Neptune Park always needs, and of course the most exciting thing for me has been working so many years of conversation about a total renovation of Coast Guard Park, and I'm excited to say that that's going to happen. I'm so thrilled with that. The community's been worked on that for a long time. It just needed, a gung-ho guy like me to come in and help give them over that, like at the goal line, that 1 yard to get across the goal line. And so we're going to have a fabulous redo of that park that's going to kick off after Labor Day. Brand new concession, restrooms, and shower facilities. And the building is going to mirror the historic Coast Guard Historic Museum there. So it'll have a theme from one end of the park to the other, and upgraded more parking spaces and just beautifying. And so really excited about that park. And it's very active. A lot of people use it. So
yeah, no, that's great for, everything, the area, the community, the tourists, the locals. I love that intentional building and intentional renovation is so important. And I think you nailed it with that. So that's great.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We'll have a tall lifeguard tower and the latest in electronics that will allow them to look out into the waters and the ocean with infrared type of systems where, they can easily see people in the water and identify them and lock on them and rescue them. And that's a busy beach, and a lot of people get on it. So this was the first summer also that we were able to have a full lifeguard staff down there, and they were busy. We had a lot of rescues. So, things are looking better for our beach. And
Good.
Of course, a lot of sand was there. And, we had a big pond out there and that separated Massengale Park from going over to the beach side. And fortunately, with my maritime experience, I was able to suggest an idea about putting floating bridges across to hold it till we figured out with the DNR what to do about that pond. And that's worked out great. And so the beach was accessible like we needed. They didn't have to walk through a stagnant water or pond or something like that. So.
Good. Yes. Okay. So we've talked about, anything else, any other projects you want to talk about that you have done before we get to the ones that you still want to do?
Well, those are all the fun things. So, the next discussion are the hardest projects, and that's traffic on St. Simon's and everybody jammed up, whether you're from the north end or the south end or getting on the island or off the island. And that'll, it's taken quite a while to lay the foundation for that all to come forth. But with public support, it will. And so the first thing is coming in on the island. We have 17,000, 18,000 cars a day coming in on the island, and of course, going off the island at the end of the day. These are people that are coming in to work and provide services. And so we'll be creating a large roundabout there, so traffic won't be all stuck like it is there. If you come up Kings Road to try to get off the island, it's tight. We'll be widening Demery Road down to Frederica Road, and that'll be a big project to get done, and putting in better drainage. And then, of course, the big fight and struggle has been this little tiny intersection called Sea Island and Frederica Road, which handles all the traffic on the island, and every utility that serves the island goes through, over, and under that intersection. So that is the most pivotal point of our island. We're going to get a roundabout in there. The delay, roundabouts are not really hard. We put one down at the entrance to Sea Island Golf Course in Kingsway. That works great. It was beautiful. There used to be a stop sign there, and then we got that all done. But this is a major project. But the major thing is that Georgia Power and the utilities are there. And Georgia Power is a big organization, and they're dealing with places like Atlanta and major populations. So we're like the little peon down here on the beach, Yeah. The good thing is they all come here on vacation, so they see where we're going. But Georgia Power will be relocating all of their power poles there. They had planned to do that anyway, and that's been the holdup. We're ready to do the roundabout. We've got it all mapped out. It's the relocation of the power poles and the utilities. Joint water and sewer goes underneath there. So that'll be the big project. And that's been 4 years to get that designed out, all of those areas, to get a plan, to get it funded, and get it underway. So the next commissioner will have the fun part of at least seeing that come together. But at least I'm satisfied that with the help of my fellow commissioners, we've got it ready to go,
Excellent. Yeah. I know that's a lot of work and a lot of details, and not just Glynn County. It's Georgia Power, it's Brunswick Georgia Water and Sewer. Like, it's a lot of moving parts that have to come together for it to work.
And that's not you want the rest of the story.
Sure.
Of course, what won't happen in my term, but will happen in the next term that we've been working on, is the replacement of Dunbar Creek Bridge. And originally the DOT just wanted to close that bridge, but it took years of conversation, and they will build a roundabout bridge around it while they build the new bridge. And then we hope to keep the roundabout bridge lowered and use it for a fishing pier in Dunbar Creek. And then, of course, the major project's going to be McKay River Bridge. McKay River Bridge was built at an off angle. Tugboats repeatedly hit that bridge going through, and they've weakened the structure. And that bridge is going to be coming down. People will now see activity out there in the marsh. But that bridge is going to come down. A new bridge is going to be built. We're going to build a new fishing pier and a boat ramp there by McKay River. But that's going to be a huge ongoing project too. So lots of road work coming forth for the next 4 years.
Yes. Is it time to bring back the ferry? Can we do multiple ferries? One on the south end, one that stops in the center of the island, and then one that goes to the north end. Maybe that would alleviate all of our traffic issues.
Well, that still might happen. Of course, we had a ferry service until the Causeway was built in 1928. Mm-hmm. And then in 1996, I bought a large fleet of vessels from the Atlantics and leased the marina at Jekyll Island, and had the offices at Morningstar Marina. It used to be Golden Isles Marina, to set that up. The problem was landing at the pier, which is still the problem today. That's a very exposed landing spot. The dynamics of that have changed since the 1920s when water taxis, old ferry boats came across. It's a tough place to land. It's rough water. It takes a lot of infrastructure. And the problem now is the village is very thriving and active, and there's no parking to have people come park there and leave their cars for the day and go to Jekyll to have fun. And of course, it's nice to have people come from Jekyll, but it's a big crowd. So, another group has taken on that. We're working with them and working with Jekyll to see if there's any way to do that. But that's going to be a tough haul. It sounds nice. It's great imagination, but logistically and expensively, it's a very, very hard thing to pull off.
Mm. Well, if anybody could do it, you could with your experience. But yeah, I know it's like, this is why we do these shows, is that people have ideas and they love to share their ideas on Facebook and all of that. But the reality behind what it would take to get it done is a different story. So this is why it's important to have everybody come on and sort of explain those behind the scene details.
Yeah. And our pier itself is pretty old. And so we're hoping to take dollars from the lawsuit settlement with the Golden Ray and kind of upgrade our pier structurally, maybe expand it some there because, the island's grown and it's a busy pier. You go down there in the summer, you got people crabbing, fishing, walking, ice cream. It's a busy place. It's a beautiful place. And so we'll be looking to try to make some improvements there to structurally make it safe and maybe expand capacity for people to enjoy. And that's early on in the discussion.
Yes. All great ideas and a lot of hard work, like I said, behind the scenes. And is there anything else you want to talk about before, or any other projects, anything else you want to touch on?
Well, we upgraded all of our parks everywhere on the island. Yeah. They've tax dollars have gone in to upgrade them. And of course, Neptune Park, I've got a lot of upgrade when I was commissioner back in 2000, 2008, and it's still the most popular place on the island. And I'm excited. We're going to do Coast Guard Park now, and it's going to be really a great place to go visit. And it's been wore out, and it's just a lot of good things will continue to happen for St. Simons. It's everybody's favorite place. And when I travel anywhere, I go through customs, of course, with the law enforcement center here, and as they look at my passport and they, oh, St. Simons, we loved it down there. We were stationed at Fletsy. We love St. Simons. And they talk about the restaurants and the beach and how nice the people are and the lifestyle. And so we're known all over the world, really.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's exciting. Yeah, it's good. I agree. I mean, you have such positive passion for this area, and we're just thrilled that you've been the commissioner not once but 3 times, right?
Right.
Yes, and now you're wrapping up this this term, and we just are delighted to have you. I've been wanting to have you on the show for a while now, so this has been a great opportunity, and we're just thrilled.
Well, I appreciate it, and I have to say, I probably would like to do more terms, but I have a beautiful, lovely wife. And any commissioner's wife will tell you that having a husband as a commissioner is a rough and long, lonely duty. And so my focus will be on her for the next years ahead to make sure that she gets all the good payback from standing on the sidelines and back behind me for all the effort she's done for me to be able to go and do this job and serve the people of St. Simons. And her name's Catherine. So,
yes,
Catherine, it's going to end, and we're going to hit the road for you.
Sounds great. Yeah, it's a selfless job. I don't think people understand that too, how much time and the family has to kind of take a back seat. So yeah, so no, enjoy your time off, and just we're delighted to have you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great summer.
You too.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Welcome back to Golden Isles TV. I'm here with Lori Austin. She's the director of Glynn County Animal Services. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. So I have been with Glynn County for approximately 23 years. and I was with the police department, and they asked me to come over and be the interim director, and I liked it, so I applied and got the position.
Okay, let's talk about, you are an animal lover, I assume. Is that correct?
Yes, you could say that.
Do you have animals at home?
I do. I have 3 dogs, chickens, 3 cats. So yes, I have a house full.
Wow. Okay, so you're definitely the expert for sure. Yes. Well, what's your favorite part of the job?
Of course, it would be when I get to play with the animals. I'll usually, if we have a scared animal that comes in, I'll put them in here in my office just to kind of, let them calm down and get used to the place. So yeah, the interaction with the animals is the best.
Absolutely. How do you think your law enforcement background helps you in this current position?
So we do have to enforce county ordinances. We work with the police for cruelty to animal cases. So I think it helps a lot with that, with the investigation side of it. And my officers have to go to court and testify just like the police do. So I think that's the biggest benefit on that side.
Yeah, I don't think people realize that side of it, that, that you can actually be like, I guess, representing an animal, so, or vice versa,
Yes.
in the courtroom.
Yes, we do have to go to court on cruelty cases sometimes, and we have to go to magistrate court on the county ordinance citations that are issued out.
Right. Okay. Well, it's a big job. Okay, so in your position, I know you see a lot of good and a lot of bad. Talk about that a little bit.
So yeah, I mean, there are cases. We've had dogs that have been missing for years, and we get to reunite them with the owner. So I'd say that's probably the best part of it, especially, like we had one that was from Florida, and the dog was, I guess, stolen and sold online to somebody here, and we got to reunite it with the owner. So that part's good. And then, of course, you see the cruelty cases, which is the worst part of it, the dogs that have been starved or mistreated. So we see it all.
Right. Wow. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, tell us about kind of well, first let's talk about the fact that it's county animal services, but you service the city as well.
Yes, we have an MOU with the city of Brunswick, so we handle all the animal service calls in the city and the county. And we also go to Jekyll when we're called over there when we're needed.
Wow. Is there one particular area where you have the most calls? Or
that would be hard to say, because one area we may get a lot of calls one month, but hopefully we get it resolved to where we don't get as many calls there, but then it's going to be a new area. So it kind of bounces around. I wouldn't say there's any particular area that's worse than the other, because as soon as I said it would be a different area next month. So
right. It changes. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Talk about the community partners that you work with.
So we work with the local rescues. We've been doing great about, some of the local rescues pull animals from us, especially if they have medical needs. So we try to keep a good relationship with the rescues so that they will continue to help us out. And, we help them out if we can. But then as far as the community, we have volunteers and fosters, which we love. We love our volunteers and we love fosters. I know it's a lot of work for them to take home an animal they don't know and keep it, but it helps us out tremendously, gets them out of the shelter and can help get them socialized, or if they have medical issues, if fosters can keep them while they're healing, it's better than being here in the shelter in a home environment. So yes, we love our community. When they come walk dogs, they can come play with the kittens. They can, there's all kind of roles, of the volunteers. And then of course, fostering, they take them home and do all the work. So it's great.
Right. Yeah. So could anybody qualify or decide to be a foster house?
So there is paperwork and a home inspection, which we can do a video instead of in person if people prefer it. But so there's a process to it, but it's a short process. It's easy. We provide food. We provide bedding. If they need towels to bathe the dog, we provide everything for the dog. Vet care. So all they have to do is open their home and occasionally come up here and get their, monthly heartworm preventative or what have you. But we provide all that for them.
Okay. I think one question people in the community might have is spay and neuter. Do you do that? Is that a free service? How does that go?
So we do the animals that are here.
Okay.
We do not have an on staff vet right now. We have a contract vet that comes in when she can. But we have to reach out to veterinarians in the community to try to get our animals fixed. So of course, right now we can't do community spays and neuters. Hopefully one day, but currently it is just the animals that are adopted from us that we provide the spay neuter services for.
Okay. Yes. So, all right, that's good to know. And you have the responsibility of enforcing the dangerous dog control law. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So if a dog bites someone and it meets the requirements of state law to be deemed a dangerous dog, then we send out the paperwork deeming the dog dangerous. The owner has so many days to get it back to us if they want to appeal it. If they appeal it, it goes in front of the dangerous dog board and they either uphold or turn over the decision. But deeming a dog dangerous just means it has stipulations by law that it has to abide by. So it has to be like on a leash if off the property with a muzzle. If it's on the property, it has to be contained in a way that it can't escape. Like if it's in an outdoor pen, it has to have a floor to it. So it's not, it's not a death sentence for the dog in any way. Like I guess some people hear that term and that's what they think, but it's just saying that the owner now has to abide by certain stipulations because the dog has bit someone, or it could be just killed another animal. A dog can be deemed dangerous for killing another animal as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's talk more about volunteers and what somebody could do in the community, to help you or to help, I don't know, maybe in their neighborhood, they want to be an advocate for animal safety or animal awareness, whatever, or they could come work at the shelter. Talk about that a little bit.
So we actually, recently, one of our volunteers created a volunteer group. So they come up here, they'll have their next one, August the 3rd. 1st of August is Shelter Dog's birthday. So if you don't know the dog's birthday, when it was born, then August 1st is considered their birthday. So they're having a Dogust. They're going to have a little birthday party out here for the shelter dogs. And she invites the community to it. New volunteers, people haven't never done it before, can come out, and the older volunteers kind of show them the ropes, and they get to walk dogs and interact. And hopefully on that day, they'll be giving out treats and presents for the dogs for their birthday. So that'll be neat. But other than that, they can come. We have like a doggy day out type program where somebody can come get a dog and take it to the dog park, take it to, some outdoor restaurant, get it out in the community. It gets the dog seen. Someone, potential adopters may see it and say, hey, I want to adopt that dog. Or if nothing else, it gets them a little break from the kennel, from the shelter, from the kennel, because dogs do get stressed out being in the kennels as much as they are here. So those are some of the ways. I mean, we have some volunteers that'll come just to do laundry or play with the cats, which socializes the cats, gets them some extra attention. The majority of the volunteers come out to walk dogs. We have some dogs that are fence jumpers that are able to jump the fences, so they cannot be out without being on a leash. So they'll come in and leash walk them and leash walk all the dogs because get interaction with people instead of just being put in the play yard where they're by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Lots of opportunities, it sounds like. So, yes. Is there anything else you want to talk about or touch on before we wrap it up?
Nothing that I can think of.
Okay. I was just thinking, like, as far as like, do you have field trips out there? Is that allowed? Can you bring children? Are there kittens and, puppies plus big ones? Like, tell us about that.
Yes, so we've had school groups, we've had 4-H programs that'll come out here. We give them a tour, let them give out treats. We'll meet in their conference room and kind of show them the correct way to give dogs treats. With little kids, we don't want our fingers getting bit while they try to give a dog treat. So right. We'll have a little meeting with them first, go over a few things, and then walk them around, let them give dogs treats. During the summertime, we have had some kids and their parents come out, and if we have puppies, we'll put them in the meet and greet room, and the kids will read to the puppies, just to kind of, it gives the puppies interaction with people and with different people and with kids. So it's good for everybody. And then the kids get to, might not have a puppy at home, but they get to play with the puppies. So we have all kind of different programs. We have mobile adoptions. So we actually take dogs out into the community. If you ever see our little mobile adoption unit, you can stop by and take a look at the puppies and see if you might find one you want to adopt.
When is your next mobile adoption outing?
Let's see. Today is Wednesday. It will probably be Saturday. Saturdays and Sundays, we usually go set up at PetSmart. We sometimes go to Tractor Supply, Pet Supplies Plus. If any business invites us, we will show up and have a little mobile adoption in the parking lot. We'll be at the FJ Torras Causeway birthday event. That'll be the next kind of bigger event that we'll be at. So yeah.
Nice. Well, this has been great information. We have a lot of people on this show. I don't think we've ever had you or anybody representing Glynn County Animal Services. So we're thrilled to have you, and we appreciate your time today.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you so much. Okay, see you next time.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thanks once again for having Glynn County on. We really enjoy this. I got some other department heads that are all lined up to come on future broadcasts, so we're looking forward to that. We'll see what we can do in September, but I know October, I'm kind of saving the fire department for October, because October's Fire Safety Month, and so September we'll come up with somebody that can talk about some of the things that they're doing. And it might be a good time to probably bring on some folks that are working on our projects, so the SPLOST projects, the capital projects. There's been a lot that's been done here in this past year, a lot that's scheduled this year in fiscal year 2025, which we're in now. So, and then we'll talk to the commissioners and see if there's any commissioners that can join us as well. So again, looking forward to it. Thanks for having us on this month. Have a great rest of July. We'll see you next month.
Okay, great. See you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Good News Glynn. Stay tuned for more Golden Isles TV.